Hi, we're Fancy Comma LLC. We communicate complex ideas effectively. We operate in science, health, technology, finance, business, and policy. And yes, finance is one of the areas that we serve. And in this video, I'll be giving you a bit of information about the financial aspects of running a business. Being financially savvy is an important part of freelancing. In this video, as I mentioned, I'll talk about the financial aspects of being a freelancer, but disclaimer, the following is not financial advice, but rather information based on my experience being a freelancer since 2013. As a freelance science writer, you're a small business owner. You may not think of yourself as a small business owner. You may think of yourself as someone that helps scientists get their work out there, or you may come up with explainers about different things, or you're truly following your passion as a freelance science writer. But remember, you're a business person. As a business person, you may not wear a stuffy suit every day and sit in lots of meetings, but you are, in fact, a business owner. And if you want to be serious about your freelancing, you'll have to think about your freelancing as a business. As a business owner, there are opportunities available to you that you did not have as a non-business owner. For example, you can join your local Chamber of Commerce. Our local Chamber of Commerce allows freelancers to join. The benefits you get from joining the Chamber of Commerce is that you're connected with others in your community. You can meet other business owners. You potentially could work with them and pick up new clients that way. You can get training from the Small Business Administration on ways to apply for loans. A lot of Chamber of Commerces do lobbying for small businesses. And it's a great way to give back to your community because many chambers of commerce have opportunities to interact with high school students, as I did when I was a high school student. I was in a Chamber of Commerce program. So I'm all about joining your local Chamber of Commerce. It's about $18 a month where I am in Oklahoma, and it's a great investment. One other thing you can do as a small business owner is keep up to date on legislation affecting small business owners. This requires you to know what and to advocate for yourself as a small business owner. The idea here is you call your congressman, you say, "Hi, I'm a small business owner. This legislation is affecting me." As a small business owner, you contribute to your local economy, you create jobs, you bring taxes to your region, you have a lot to contribute. And many freelancers don't really think about this business aspect, and it's kind of daunting to be a small business owner, but actually it's really exciting. It's like the saying goes, with great power comes great responsibility. If you want to be a successful business owner, you have to have money management skills. Yes, this means that even though you're a freelance writer, you're not doing a lot of like quantitative stuff as a writer, money management skills are essential. You'll need to figure out your finances to be a successful freelancer. And in my experience, it's a good idea to separate your business finances from your personal finances for many different reasons. The most obvious reason is for budgeting purposes, because when you get paid from your clients, that's money that you can reinvest in your business, that you use to pay contractors that may work for you. It's not really money that you can just take to Sephora and just blow on some new makeup, although you may also do that if you work in the makeup content writing space. But anyway, the point being, as a freelance writer and small business owner, you need to get serious about managing your money. And that's something that does not come naturally for many people, but it's definitely an essential skill to succeed and stay solvent as a small business owner. As I mentioned, the financial aspect of starting a business is really important. It can be very simple. It can be very complicated. As a freelancer, you basically get to choose what business you are. When I started out freelancing on Elance, which is now Upwork, I was a sole proprietor. As a sole proprietor, any money that you get can just be deposited into your bank account. When tax season rolls around here in the US, you file what's called the Schedule C form, and that's where you report all of your earnings as a self-employed person. And you basically pay a tax rate of about 14% on that. At least that's how much it was a couple of years ago when I was a sole proprietor. Once I became more successful as a freelancer, I decided to get more intentional and serious about my business and formally become an LLC. So in February of 2020, right before the pandemic started, I registered Fancy Comma LLC and became an LLC. As an LLC, you have a little bit of it's a step up from being a sole proprietor in that you have you have formed an actual company. But I did not actually stop there. I also registered my company as an S corporation, which is not available in every state in the US. It means that your company is essentially a pass-through entity, and all of the profits that you make are passed to you in your personal income, so that when tax season rolls around, you pay taxes on all of your income. It's a bit more complicated than that, but let's just say I took a couple of steps to formally separate my personal finances from my business finances. And I'm so happy I did that, because that allowed me to sign up for some software to first of all, have a separate account for my business income. Then I got QuickBooks, and I was able to keep track of things that are tax exempt, that are, in other words, tax exempt business expenses. This can be anything from office snacks to the rent that you pay for your office to your utilities, which can be a really great asset for small business owners, because small business owners work really hard and often don't have a lot of extra money. And it's great that our government has incentives for small business owners to succeed. Maybe this is my own take, and feel free to consider it a hot take. Feel free to disagree with me, but I think as a small business owner, you'll need to stay up to date with economic news. That means you'll need to check the stock markets, you'll need to check the economics news, you'll have to look at the, are we in a recession? Are we not in a recession? What companies are doing well? What companies are not doing well? Because a lot of the time, those companies may be your clients, and if their stock value is tanking, you can intuit that something is really happening with that company, and maybe it will translate. You'll never know how something that happens in the stock market for your client may translate to their marketing budget and ultimately to your bottom line. So maybe I'm alone in this. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments. What are your thoughts on small business owners' need to stay up to date with economic news? Lately, there's been a lot of talk about recessions, and a recession is a contraction of the economic growth in our case of the United States. Recessions generally occur when there's a widespread drop in spending. So recessions can actually be a great time for freelancers, because people are tightening their budgets and freelancers are a lot cheaper. So, but at the same time, when the economy is not good and there's not a lot of extra money, people are more intentional about how they spend money and more strategic. So they may, instead of hiring a freelancer, they may choose to stay in-house for something where they have their talent, or they may not have the money to have certain projects. So in my view and in my experience, anytime there's an economic downturn, freelancers should be very careful. Definitely, it's important to have an emergency fund. It's important to have anchor clients who are clients that you can rely on for steady work. It's important to know about different ways to get loans and learn about the aspects of managing loans learning about interest rates, APRs, and so on. I can say that I am 100% a finance nerd, so I wanted to also add some ideas to recession-proof your business. Here are 5 simple ways to recession-proof your business. The first is to not go into extra debt. Obviously, as a small business owner, you need capital. In other words, you need money to do the things you want to do, whether that's launch a blog, hire writers, be able to put food on the table while you're writing a book, and so on. However, debt can be really appealing, especially when you just need an initial cash influx to be able to do the things you want to do. However, don't go into too much extra debt because it can be difficult to pay that debt back. And here at Fancy Comma, we do have some business debts, which I may do another YouTube about how I got into debt and how I'm paying it off. But don't go into extra debt. Another helpful, to me at least, idea is keep your expenses low. This one can be really hard because as a freelancer, as a content writer, you have so many tools you use. We use Ahrefs for search engine optimization. I'm a member of different organizations. I found that over the past few months, I've had to get really intentional about where I'm spending my money for my business. I have to say no to more things, find free versions of software that I want to use, and overall keep my bottom line stably profitable. And the only way to do that is to keep expenses low and try to do more work and make more money. The third way to recession-proof your business, which I think you should always be doing, is to learn new skills. When you learn new skills, you offer more to clients. And if you can communicate the value of your new skills to your new clients or to any clients, then you can make a lot more money. Fourth, consider raising your rate if you can. I've had a lot of pushback on raising my rate. I started out about like $40 an hour in 2013. Now my rate is about $200 an hour. Yes, I do find that some people are like, your rate's too expensive, but a lot of people are happy to pay more for a good product. So consider raising your rate, upskill, learn new skills, gain new experiences, pick up clients, prestigious clients, whatever you can do to raise your rate. Finally, my last idea to recession-proof your business is to pay down existing debts. If you're like me and you have a ton of credit card debt, consider getting a 0% APR balance transfer card to transfer your debt. Or you can also get a business loan. I actually was able to refinance some of Fancy Comma's credit card debt, using a business loan with a fixed interest rate because, in our current times, with inflation being what it is, the Fed has raised interest rates, and they may raise interest rates throughout the year. So if you have a lot of credit card debt and you don't have a 0% APR balance transfer, you may find that you're paying more for interest. So consider a fixed interest rate loan to pay down debts. And here's where it could be really useful to learn some personal finance stuff. Learn about how to set a budget, how to strategically pay down your debts. In general, it's a good idea to pay down your high interest debt first, or you could also tackle the smallest debt amount just to build some momentum. I really like thinking about personal finance, and if you are interested in hearing my tips for tackling your debts and managing your finances as a freelancer, like this video and add your 2 cents in the comments about what you'd like to see next. Thanks for watching our very first video on freelancer personal finance here on YouTube. What else would you like to see on our channel? comment below. I'd love to do a variety of different videos helping freelancers, providing tips for small business owners, talking about science communications, and really anything else. I view our YouTube channel as a really fun space to talk about important issues and really dig deep into issues affecting all freelancers and especially science communicators. Thanks so much for stopping by, and make sure to subscribe to the Fancy Comma YouTube. See you next time.